Hey guys, it's Callus, and today we are doing something a little bit different. I decided that I'm going to do a GSC game and a DPP game. I get asked every once in a while in the comments to do these things. As you know, looking at my video history, I don't do them very often. It's probably been a few months since I've done either one. But for sure, pending some unprecedented disaster, I just cannot imagine that I do these during Callus Invitational, which is about to start in 2 days on Sunday. So realistically, I am going to do it now, or you guys are going to be doing a long wait. So I might as well get them in while I have a chance, because Callus Invitational 4 about to be in full swing. So I did one GSC game. I picked this one because it was really highly rated. They have the average rating of 1537, which is super, super high. This is going to be near the top of the GSC ladder. And then the DPP game that I'm going to get to after this, I simply chose because I recognize both players and they're good. But let's do one game at a time. Let's start with this GSC game. It's a rated game between two guys that are near the top of the ladder. I would probably know who they both are if I knew their true identities, but obviously these are both alts. So, Nipple Top and Uncle Eye Roll here. Standard electric lead. Raikou or Zap lead is very common. Lax lead is very common. Cloister lead is fairly common. And we have a hidden power here, which is almost always ice in Gen 2. It can once in a while be water. Water would have done way more there since Golem is 4x weak, so we're looking at a standard HP ice. Cloister and Lax come in, and it's going to be Toxic and Curse respectively. Toxic potentially aiming to catch another Cloister on the way in or something along those lines, but that's not what happened. He's going to spike up here. Those of you who are familiar with GSC should know that you can only have the one layer. There are no multi-layer spikes in Gen 2, but it does a little bit more than you would think one layer would do. It's pretty good. So Umbreon comes in. The reason that's coming in to check Lax, it can use Charm, which it almost always carries. There's basically only one Umbreon set. Gonna go for Moonlight instead, just in case the Lax were to switch there, which it didn't, which does risk the crit, but the crit doesn't come, and the Lax here is going to be forced very soon to either rest or boom, depending on which one he has. Gonna be Golem here, like I said, Charm and Moonlight are both things for Umbreon. Moonlight, of note, only has that 8 PP, so he's not gonna be able to do that forever. He now has 6 PP, and Cloister comes in trying to catch Rapid Spin, which he does. This is a good play because the threat of Surf should scare the Golem off, and the faster Cloister should be able to spike up here. So even if Uncle Eyeroll were to boom or do something cute, the spike would be down. And here comes Cloister. This could also be a Rapid Spinner potentially, but it doesn't always carry it. We know that Golem has Rapid Spin. Only guys like Zakaru, I think, run double spin. It probably just has boom instead because it can't have both boom and rapid spin, which is interesting. And here comes Starmie, which, I mean, if you're running that, you would think that probably has rapid spin, right? Gengar comes in for the block. May or may not live a Psychic. I'm not 100% confident in my GSC damage rolls, but he goes for Hypnosis, and Umbreon, which almost always carries Pursuit, is going to come in to say hi. Hypnosis is going to catch him, however. Sleep works a little bit differently, or specifically Rest Talk works a little bit differently in GSC, as we may see later in the game. Umbreon's not going to have that because he instead has Moonlight as opposed to Rest Talk. But Sleep Talk, very, very common in this gen. The Electrics carry it, Lax carries it sometimes, a lot of things. Heracross carries it, very common in this gen. I'll explain how it works if it comes up. But here is Zapdos checking Starmie. Raikou comes into that. Thunder, going to be a miss. Thunder is more common on Zapdos than Thunderbolt, though it does sometimes carry either or even both sometimes. There is Thunder, and here is Roar, prompting out something on a spike. That would be the weakened Lax, which definitely at this point needs to get a rest off if he has it. It will survive here, should it stay in. And Starmie is going to come in as the response. There's the rest. So after all that, the Lax is going to be healthy. We've seen Curse Double Edge Rest. Last move could be Sleep Talk, but he's not going to go for that here. It's going to be Gengar trying to block a Rapid Spin. He does live the Psychic pretty convincingly, but he takes a hefty chunk at 78. And of course, Starmie's faster here, so Gengar has to get out of the way. That's going to prompt in the last poke for Uncle Eyeroll. That was Executor, which would have resisted Surf or Psychic. It was Surf here, but he takes either one. And there's the Rapid Spin. The response to that going to be Stun Spore. There are no abilities, of course, in Gen 2. No Natural Cure, so Starmie is going to be stuck with that, pending a Heal Bell Pokemon in the back. Here comes the Sleeping Umbreon. Going to be staring down Cloyster. Cloyster not a threat to this Umbreon here. But nevertheless, Starmie's going to switch in, and it is just going to be Spike. So one layer pop, Starmie can just Rapid Spin. Cloyster not a threat here, though they do sometimes carry HP Electric. Nippletop baiting out an explosion here, goes back to Umbreon, wants to keep his Starmie alive, but instead he simply goes for Surf. Umbreon is fine, so it was a nice middle ground play here. He doesn't care about the Surf either, and he's going to kill a Sleep Turn. Golem came in, which we already saw has Rapid Spin. That had to step on a spike in order to do so. And Cloyster going to come in once again as a nice neutral middle ground check, because he can either just come in on the Rapid Spin and reestablish the spike, or he could take something like an Earthquake very well and then threaten the Golem out with that Stab Surf. And Toxic is a nice play here. Now Zapdos almost universally in this gen has Rest, so he will be able to get rid of that, but it is going to at least put a little bit of a clock on him for now. We end up with Raikou on Lax. Lax has killed 0 Sleep Turns here, but like I said, the last move could be Talk. He could also just sit in here and be safe, and unsurprisingly, Nippletop has a Lax, as all GSC teams do. We knew that was going to be there, so it's just a matter of figuring out what the last poke is for Nippletop. He doesn't have any kind of rock resistance right now. He also doesn't have any EQ or Spikes immunity, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. That is not as important in this gen as it is in others. Double Edge and the Wake Up and Curse. Fair enough. Obviously, if one of the Laxes has Curse and the other does not, the Curse Lax has a pretty good advantage, but we'll see. We don't know what the full set is. There we go. So it's Curse for both of them. And Curse number 2 for Uncle Eyeroll, who is probably getting the better end of this, because while they both sit here and do this, he's getting lefties the whole time, which matters more to him than it seems to matter to Nippletop, who already had a healthy Lax. And there's a hefty double edge at 51%. The problem, though, is that it leaves Uncle Eyeroll at 14%, and he's slower because he has that additional Curse boost, so he's actually in danger now. And he sneaks Gengar in on a Rest turn. That was really nice. That might even be ideal. I mean, he might have been trying to get it in on Double Edge, but getting it in on Rest definitely works too. And now Golem is going to come in, which threatens Rapid Spin. Golem also in this gen gets Roar, so it could have forced out the Sleeping Lax to get rid of its boosts. Umbreon is going to kill another Sleep Turn, and of course it is just Rapid Spin. Why not get rid of that Spike? So now Uncle Eyeroll doesn't have spikes below his team, but Nippletop does have a spike down. And there's the Roar. Umbreon killed yet another Sleep Turn. Remember, that was not self-induced sleep. That was from Hypnosis, so we don't know when he's going to wake up, but he's killed 3 Sleep Turns, so you would think any time, right? And there's Earthquake, which Cloyster's going to barely live. He'll survive at 8%, go up to 14. He's going to be in the red. Will he go for the boom here? Seems unlikely given the Golem and the Gengar on the other side. Does just go for Spikes. Had he gone Surf there, he actually would have killed the Gengar, but he would have been swiftly met by the Zapdos on the other side. So he opted for the Spike instead, and there is Explosion eventually trading with the Umbreon that he earlier put to sleep. That's our first knockout, a double knockout on turn 40, obviously leaving us in a 5-5. Nippletop refusing to show that final poke just yet, and we end up with a paralyzed Starmie getting Giga Drained here by the Executor. He decides it's worth it to try to Rapid Spin, risking the full para, risking the crit, and he does get the Rapid Spin off through all the bad things that could have happened there. So now the Spike's advantage belongs to Nippletop. Uncle Eyeroll has that Spike beneath his feet. Nippletop does not. Psychic coming down, another Psychic coming down. Specs drop here could matter. And there's the second Sleep Turn, the first Sleep Turn killed by the Lax. And we now know the full set. He has Double Edge, Curse, Rest, Talk. See if there's a boom coming here. He's going to go for Psychic and take advantage of that Specs drop. Now doing 34%. Did 22 last time, so a nice little damage boost. And there's a Curse. So I guess this would be time to explain how this works. So if he were to find Rest with Sleep Talk, it would be as if he actually used the move Rest while he's awake. He would go right back to sleep, go to full health, and it would reset his sleep count as far as rest is concerned. So Sleep Talk is a lot better in this gen because unlike in future gens where if you find rest with Sleep Talk it simply fails, it counts as if yes, you just use the move rest. So a lot of things carry it in this gen. As you can see, like this lax and possibly the lax on the other side. We haven't actually seen the last move, and at 14%, maybe we never will. But there's Roar, preventing the lax from boosting too much. However, Cloyster comes in safely and gets lefties, because remember, spikes are gone. Golem gets out of the way. He's afraid of that Surf. And it is just Surf, so good thing Golem get out of the way. Would not have taken kindly to that. Zapdos came in. It's still poisoned from before. It's at just about half, and now Executor comes in. Cloyster, of course, gets out of the way. Doesn't want to get killed by Zapdos there. We end up with Raikou on Executor here. It's going to be a lax switch. Very safe from anything other than Boom. And we haven't seen the last move, but it very well could be Boom. Stun Spore, Giga Drain, Psychic is what's been shown up to this point. Golem once again comes in. Lax wakes up. And Double Edge is what he goes for. Lands a crit, which only matters if he gets another Double Edge crit. I mean, granted, to be fair, every bit of damage counts on a Pokemon that doesn't have recovery other than leftovers, but nevertheless, that was not the worst crit in the world. Certainly not a game breaker the way other crits in GSC can be. So there's a Rapid Spin. Neither player with a Spike, but obviously Nippletop can, and as we see, does reestablish them. Cloyster coming in for Uncle Iroll. His is way healthier. And once again, Nippletop out of the way. Spikes once again have been established for both players. Starmie here, 53%, can go for Rapid Spin or Recover, but obviously in one turn he can't do both. And he decides the Rapid Spin is more important, once again achieving that through the full para possibility. Executor should scare him out with a Giga Drain possibility. Great double switch for Uncle Iroh. Gets the Golem in here against the Lax. Once again, there's the Rapid Spin opportunity. And Cloyster has been healed very nicely from Nippletop. A lot of good opportune switch-ins. Getting that Cloyster up slowly but surely from what used to be the red via lefties. And again, we end up with Cloyster on Cloyster, but again, Nippletop establishes a spike. Uncle Iroll probably going to follow suit as the Starmie, which has also been gaining health this whole time via lefties, makes its reappearance. It is now at 2/3. And again, Executor is the switch-in, so there seems to be the loop of the game. However, that's the break Uncle Iroll's been waiting for. Finally, the full power does come down on the Starmie. Now he does have to get out of the way because of the Giga Drain threat. And Uncle Iroll, of course, even though the lax switch there is pretty obvious, obliges with that Giga Drain to make sure Starmie does not get cute. Stun Spore comes down at this point, trying to catch some para BS on the lax. Going to be met with a swift double edge in response for 43%, but both pokes are pretty healthy here. Golem once again comes in to check this lax. And Double Edge is going to get him down to just 7%. It'll be a little higher after lefties, but he won't survive another Double Edge should it happen right now. It's going to be Cloyster coming in anyway, just in case there's a boom. And no, Uncle Iroll with the discipline for Rapid Spin. Nippletop not willing to risk his lax there to an explosion, but it doesn't come. Spikes again, and Roar. That's going to drag out Raikou, which we already know does have a hidden power, Ice presumably, that can hit the Golem here. Lax is going to come in and be almost dead. He's at 2%. Hidden power will be enough. Big advantage now for Nippletop, not only with the 5-4 Pokemon advantage, but Uncle Iroll loses an important one, his Lax, which granted at that HP, it was going to be very, very difficult to set up some kind of sequence where you can get the rest off and save it. There's the over prediction there. Stun Spore on the already paralyzed Lax. That's not the right call as it turns out. Cloyster comes in. Double Edge, 34%. Lax now at 69, going to be a little bit more after lefties not really in danger from the Cloyster here, but Starmie comes in anyway, once again trying to establish dominance with Rapid Spin, and finally it is Explosion trading with Starmie. That was the Rapid Spinner, unless Cloyster also has it, which seems really unlikely. So it looks like with the Rapid Spinner down for Nippletop, the spike is going to be there to stay. Golem is the Rapid Spinner, still alive for Uncle Iroll. Not in great health, but it is still alive, and here it is. So, Unless it has been a Sandbag, Gengar, or Mystery Bus on the back this whole time for Nippletop, which seems really unlikely. Rapid Spin is once again going to occur here if he wants it to. He actually goes for Earthquake instead, catches Cloyster on the way in. Nice prediction there. And the last poke, there we go. It is a Rock Resist. It is Machamp for Nippletop. Makes sense to me, giving that guy Para and Spike support. And now we'll see if Machamp can do his thing. And the Umbreon, of course, designed to remove ghosts so he can cross-chop in peace. There's the cross-chop for Zapdos. Raikou comes in. This is probably just a rest turn. And there it is. It is rest. Zapdos, the standard set is Thunder, Hidden Power Ice, Rest Talk. We don't know if that's the case here, but more than likely. And there's Hidden Power Ice from Raikou hitting it. Zapdos does just show Rest Talk, so we are looking at the standard set here. Hidden Power back is going to be neutral on Raikou. That is also Hidden Power Ice, most likely. Hidden Power. Do-do-do. Sleep Talk. And Hidden Power. Exciting stuff. But obviously Raikou being electric resistant, whereas Zapdos isn't. Raikou being faster, and Zapdos being HP Ice weak, whereas Raikou isn't. All three of those things combined mean that Raikou obviously has the advantage in this 1v1 situation, should they stay in here forever and ever and go blow for blow. Instead, it's Roar, and we've got Executor. That's going to eat an HP Ice. It'll survive, however, and he's going to get a Stun Spore off. This is a Roar Hidden Power Raikou, meaning he can't have Rest Talk. He's obviously going to have an electric attack, so if he does have Rest, he doesn't have Talk. Got to be careful here. And he's going to show Rest, so full set basically revealed. Question becomes, what does Executor want to do? Raikou is going to sit in here and take whatever comes, and it ends up being a Psychic. 31%, not a big deal. Raikou relatively specially bulky on its base. Doesn't feel threatened right now, and it is a boom. Crit does not matter there. It is simply a trade. It's going to leave us in a 2-2 situation. This has been a close game throughout, and the outcome is still unclear. Paralyzed Lax comes in against 100% sleeping Zapdos. Going to kill a Sleep Turn, Sleep Talk, Hidden Power. More than nothing, I suppose. 10%. And full power for the Lax, which is what Uncle Iroll is looking for. But obviously Lax, should it get a rest off here, is going to be very difficult for the Zapdos to kill. Here's another Sleep Talk. That's going to be a failed rest. The reason that it failed there is because he's already at 100%. And there is rest for the Lax. So Golem is going to come in. Lax is going to be difficult to kill now unless he can land an explosion. Stranger things have happened, but you would think Uncle Iroll is not going to let that happen. Curse is now going to take the Lax completely out of explosion range unless there's a crit. And also that helps him against Earthquake as well. Fortunate for Uncle Iroll that he didn't simply find the Sleep Talk double edge there to kill the Golem. But nevertheless, I think this Lax is really oppressive now. Uncle Iroll is going to have a hard time dealing with it. Certainly can be done, but Lax is a big boy X factor here. There's Rapid Spin, that helps, so in the future, if the Golem has to come in, he could do so freely. Golem is going to be a poke that can consistently check the Lax now. Question is, how do you deal with this guy, the Machamp? And Zapdos can wake up and attack if he wants to risk it. Could be a +1 Rock Slide coming his way. He's going to go for Thunder, which obviously has imperfect accuracy, and he's going to need 2 of these in a row. He's going to need 2 70-30s to cooperate to not get donked here. He may or may not go for it. Nippletop not comfortable with it. He pulls back, and good thing he does, because the Thunder does connect. That would have killed the Machamp had it connected. So definitely some variance at the end of this game, but Uncle Iroll does get the 2 Thunder connections that he needs. Sleep Talk comes down. There is rest, and Lax back up to a hundo as the Golem comes in. Earthquake, fishing for a crit at this point. Doesn't find it immediately, but it does do a third, and Sleep Talk is going to find, I think actually Double Edge is the best thing that Uncle Iroll can hope that he finds, because he chips himself down a little bit with recoil and gets him in a range to where maybe an Earthquake crit gets the job done. Alright, there's Boom. So they are leaving it to this matchup. It is going to be the Zapdos trying to kill the Lax, and then a 1v1 against Machamp. There's Thunder. That's going to kill the Lax. It is all going to come down to this. It is all Zapdos versus Machamp. This is the one turn that's going to define the game one way or another. Hidden Power is not going to be enough. Zapdos must go for Thunder, so the question is, can he hit yet another Thunder? This would be the fourth one in a row for Uncle Iroh. Two previously against Machamp and then against Lax, and then again in the following sequence. Last turn, he connected with Thunder against Lax. It is all going to come down to this. Can he hit 4 Thunders in a row for the game, or is Nippletop going to try to ride this Machamp to victory? Find out if he can connect. And he can. 70-30, more like 100%. Thunder connects 4 times in a row, and that is going to be good enough. Uncle Iroh takes the win here. Nippletop was 1627, which is very, very high on the GSC ladder coming into this. But it's going to be a victory for Uncle Iroh. That was a close one. That really could have gone either way. Now, of note, I was building up the tension a little bit on the last turn because even if, say, the Thunder had missed there, the Zapdos was not in range to where the Rock Slide pending a crit would have killed him. So Uncle Iroh had the advantage there either way. We don't know the last move from Machamp. If he goes for Rest there and successfully gets that off, maybe it gets a little bit trickier and the outcome's still in doubt, but Uncle Iroh did have the advantage in that late game situation. I mean, in the very late game. I mean, as of turn 93, it was very mathematically favorable for Uncle Iroh. Now, granted, he could easily just miss 3 Thunders in a row or whatnot. That simply happens sometimes. But the Thunders were cooperative for him, and he is going to squeak out what I thought was a pretty good game, a pretty close game. So I hope you guys liked it. As you know, I don't do GSC or really anything other than Gen 3 too often. But if you want to see these games more than never, once in a while, hit the like button. And more importantly, let me know in the comments that you want this more than never. A few times a year, little sprinkles of it here and there. Wait, did I say sprinkles? Man, that's so weird because check out the Gen 4 game coming up next.